I can feel your computer sucking on my legs.
The suction fans in the back. Hello! We're back. Once again. Oh god, I hope this doesn't run like this the whole time.
So, Berg Mike.
So, it's been a little while since we recorded last, which is fine. But I've been playing Metroid Prime 2, and so when this started lagging a little bit, I got worried because that game has been kind of rough. Playing 2 has reminded me of a lot of things I don't like about that game that I prefer about this game, but it's fine. I wish they would release like a playable version. Oh fuck! I wish they'd release Metroid Prime 3 on something I can play it on currently, because I'm not gonna break out the fucking Wii U and sensor bar to play Prime 3.
Still under sensor bar?
Somewhere. But that's part of the problem. Is like I'm not gonna look for that shit. You crazy?
Do you even need the sensor bar?
Oh yeah. That game is all motion controls.
Oh haha.
Yeah. And then when they released the trilogy of all 3 games, instead of making normal controls for Metroid Prime 3, they decided to make motion controls for Prime 1 and 2, which might have been the dumbest thing anybody's ever done. These things are assholes. Alright, so I believe this area where we are now, I think this is where those ice streak bats are that we were looking for before.
Oh, do you need to take a picture?
Yeah, I gotta take a picture of the shriek bats, because if I don't, they will be lost forever.
A fucking JPEG of an animation.
Yeah, which one?
Inside your gun.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, the little fucking, like, 5-frame
Yeah.
electric effect. So that's one reason I kind of want to do Metroid Prime 2, is, there is, like... I'm like skimming all over for those fucking bats.
Scamming.
I haven't been hit by them yet, so I know they're still alive somewhere, but I don't know where they are.
Somewhere where they can hang, I would assume.
Yeah.
Where they can crack open a cold room.
But we're going through a purple door. Who the fuck's
How
barking
did
up
that
there?
dog get even closer than before?
That dog's like right in the room with us. Okay, over
I
here.
wish.
So I think that purple door that we're heading towards there, which we're actually heading... No, we're heading the right direction. I think that's where they are. I think they're hanging above that door. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100.
Above the wing door.
But, so anyways, what I was saying is I kind of want to play 2 just to show you the fucking awful skybox.
Go slowly up!
It might be the worst skybox I've ever seen. What do you mean?
Is that it?
What? No. These are, oh, what the fuck?
They sound like bats.
They're ice burrowers. But yeah, there's this skybox that I want to point out because I want to see if you remember where you might have seen it before, because it looks incredibly familiar to me.
Is you me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or anybody in the fucking replies, if anybody can tell me where this skybox has been used before, which this skybox I say playing, not the game I want to point it out to. But here, like, this looks great, right? And if you look up in Metroid Prime 2, it looks great. Especially because that game has, like cool atmospheric effects happening off in the distance, where, like, the sky will turn purple sometimes. It's kind of cool. But then you look down off of cliffs, and it's like the shittiest, like compressed JPEG of like a Google Maps photo I've ever seen in my life. It is incredible, and I almost want to like attempt a playthrough of that game just for that. But because initially the idea was like, yeah, we'll just do 1 and 2, and that'll be fine. And then if 3 ever comes out on something I can play with a controller. You see this douchebag? If 3 ever comes out on something that I can play with a controller.
Yeah, what a douchebag. You're kicking him out of his house and home to kill him, and you're calling him a douchebag.
Yeah. I just need him to settle down and throw that ass back a little bit. But yeah, the problem with 2 is just that it wasn't running so great when I tried it before. I'm like maybe a third of the way through the game on my save for that. Weirdly enough, this is one of the research scans that I almost completely missed because there is a limited number of these in the game, and if you don't scan them all, I think if you don't scan them as you're passing through, they become unavailable, like once you've hit them all. I don't know if I can hit that. Normally you can lock onto them, but I don't know if I can.
I have a weird question.
What's your weird question, Nemi?
Is there a reason why people associate, like, the howling of wind and like that weird like high-pitched watery droplet noise with ice?
You mean like the shattery kind of noise?
Yeah.
I think
that's in everything. Like there's a basis for it in every music.
Well, you know, part of it, like I watched a thing of them recording Foley sound effects for Metroid, or not for Metroid, for Monster Hunter World. And the way they were recording the ice sounds for Velkhana's ice attacks was they were slamming big pieces of ice on the ground and then hitting them with sledgehammers. So some of that is just the sound that ice makes when it shatters, because it's kind of glass-like. There they are. There they are. You see them? You see them? You see them? This motherfucker. You'd never guess it because it's the same picture and everything, but they're ice streak bats. So that's cool. So now the only other enemy that I have to make sure we get, that we don't miss, because those only show up on this first path through, and if you don't hit them before you fight like the next boss or whatever, they disappear forever. The only other missable one that I'm concerned about, that I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to keep mentioning it so I remember, is the fucking Aqua Drone. And that's going to be in a little while. Like, we need the Ice Beam for that. These are the same. These are Scarabs. But yeah, Aqua Drones. That's the other big one. And if we hit Aqua Drones, I think 100% is definitely within our reach. And we're actually approaching a very cool area that I haven't mentioned the name of it to you because I don't want to spoil it for you, but...
Why is the water not frozen?
Don't worry about it. Well, moving water doesn't freeze. It has to be pretty fucking cool for moving water to freeze. Or at least it takes a lot longer, you know?
Seems pretty chilly.
It's pretty chilly out here. I can't take my finger out of the suit to check the wind, but it feels pretty chilly.
Imagine if you had a finger cap.
Yeah.
I think she's in Antarctica though, huh?
She's in the Fendrana Drifts.
Fucking the equivalent of Antarctica
I guess.
in a fictional game.
Yeah. I feel like maybe the world map, like the world map when you go into it on this is like flat, you know? Oh no! Oh no!
You saying the Earth is flat?
The game was made by flat earthers. No, but like it probably should have been like a globe. I don't know.
You want her to be a globetrotter?
Because like yeah, Fendrana Drifts being horizontally right next to Magmor Caverns and the Talon Overworld and shit. This don't make a whole lot of sense. I also like that the world map fills in as you reach new areas so that it doesn't spoil how many actual locations are in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'll spoil it though because there's like 6 I think, or 7 total. The last one is kind of not much of an area, but it's an area. It's pretty cool looking.
Who's making that beepy noise?
That's the little puzzle timer thing. So this is interesting actually. We come over here, and this door's grayed out. It has no power. There's a nearby power conduit, and we look up here, and this is a cordite. I scanned one of those earlier in the playthrough and then didn't read it because we were talking about something. But cordite can only be destroyed by super missiles, which will come up on, you know, maybe in the near future. But it's a door with no power, which is a weird new problem we haven't encountered before.
Why not destroy the door?
Because it's too powerful. The door is too strong. The door's made out of like fucking what, neutronium?
Darkness?
The door's made out of darkness. There's darkness behind that door.
There's darkness behind every door.
Mickey Mouse is holding that door closed.
His little glove hands?
Yeah. Ho ho! Alright, so the other thing is...
How do you think Mickey would pronounce Samus?
What was that? Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, buddy.
What?
So this is a Shadow Pirate? Shadow Pirate. So he's not currently invisible, but most of the... Oh. Door stuck! Door stuck! Door stuck! Okay, we're good. The Shadow Pirates appear invisible most of the time, which is a problem. The other thing I'm looking for, one of the scans I missed in my playthrough was there's one of these, it's called like a super turret or whatever.
That one?
No. So this is the drone, the sentry drone. Basically, so this enemy is pretty cool.
It's a cop.
They lock doors, and then they set up security. And most of the time they like attack you afterwards, like they transform into enemies and attack you. But there is a version of that is identical, and it's underwater, and it's called an aqua drone. Yeah, they have little hair on their arms. Space pirate, sentient aggressor species, well trained with weapon and melee combat. Space pirates wield galvanic accelerator cannons and forearm-mounted scythes in combat. The species seeks to become the dominant force in the galaxy, and their technology may help them realize this goal. Ruthless and amoral, the pirates care little for the cost of their ambition, only the results matter. and they take these very seriously. You hear that wailing? The fucking whale noises in the song?
All I can hear is the fact that you said melee.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said melee instead of melee.
Melee. I say melee. Because when I was a kid and I played Super Smash Bros. Melee, it sounds like the guy yells Super Smash Brothers Melee, and so I heard melee, and now everyone's saying melee, and just because melee players say that, I refuse to say that.
But it's melee, like
I don't
proper.
care. The smelly, stinky Smash community has changed the way that word is pronounced.
Sometimes they are correct.
No.
Sorry, only in that aspect. In the dictionary, it says it's melee.
But yeah, so there's an enemy later on that, again, is, I think, visually identical to those turrets, but it's called a super turret.
Why
and
is the floor moving not to your direction?
they're
like,
force fields.
yeah, but,
Yeah. I think it's like glass with like a force field between it, because one of them shatters later.
Man, we should get one of those for Hurricane.
I know, shit, right? Get a weather-resistant one for when the wet bulb happens. The wet bulb. Did you see the ocean's on fire today?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the ocean's on fire.
What do you mean it's on fire?
Another pipeline busted and the oil caught on fire, and it looks like fucking magma, like, out in the ocean.
Wasn't there
It's fucked.
one, like, 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
In the Gulf?
Alright, yeah, well, it might be the same one.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Are they talking about the same one, like, weeks later?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I don't know.
That's some stuff.
I just saw a bunch of boats trying to put out a fire in the ocean, and I was like, that's fucked up.
Boats?
Yeah. But,
What do they got?
they got big hoses mounted on them. So this is Research Lab Hydra, okay? Keep that in mind.
Hell Hydra.
Keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that this might be a slower episode because the research facility, this is the reading location. This is where we're going to be reading a whole lot. So I hope I read better than I read that first thing.
You mean this is the library?
Yeah, this is the library. These guys they take 2 charge shots or they take a charge shot and a missile. So that's how I tend to dispose of them. Oh, the fucking barrel's exploding killed him. Oh my god, he's so speedy.
Oh, you said this is a library?
Yeah.
I like your accent.
What?
It's a library.
Oh. Okay.
Also,
Alright.
I should tell everybody that before you said Hail Hydra into the mic, you looked around nervously.
Yeah. Just to make sure nobody was listening that shouldn't be. Stasis tank is operational but empty. Alright, let's start reading, folks. Specimen 102. Increased volatility recorded. Predator awareness indicated even in cold stasis. What were they keeping in cold stasis? Increased acidity levels recorded in Phazon amniotic bath. This is likely a side effect of Phazon ingestion by test subjects. They're
Amniotic?
They're eating the Phazon? Phazon fluid bath levels at 70%, checking diagnostics per procedure 12. Upper stasis tank online, Phazon drip line secure. And I am reading all of these because this is important. Specimen 043, decreased vital signs, cold damping appears stable. Stasis tank operational but currently empty. What do you got? Specimen 029, life signs normal, pulse at 140, mass increase of 4%. A mass increase, you say? New pirate data entry. So these are the ones that are like actually important, and these are the ones that count for the 100%. But a lot of these other stuff here, the flavor text, is all also going to be important. So
What's flavored text?
flavor text is shit that's like it's not important, but it adds to the world building and
Lore?
it gives you context. Yeah, it's lore. All right, I looked over for a second, thought we were streaming, but we're recording. Log 10587.6, Commander. Smash my penis with a rock. Mining operations have begun near the crater where Phazon appears to be the most concentrated. Daily Phazon yields have increased 44%, and our mining system becomes more streamlined as personnel and equipment flows increase. Several incidents of Phazon-induced madness have been reported, prompting augmented life support regulations in the deeper chambers. Symptoms include loss of equilibrium, erratic respiration, muscle spasms, and in the most extreme cases, hallucinations. A timeline reassessment for the refinery operation is recommended, as the material proves more unstable than initial analysis indicated. Shit's poisonous and radioactive, and it makes you feel like shit. Just like Vegemite. We have codified the newfound energy sources as Phazon, a V-index mutagen of which we have very little reliable data. Indications point to a meteor of unknown origin impacting approximately 20 years ago, expelling Phazon into the environment. This material appears to possess lifelike characteristics, mutating organic life forms strong enough to withstand its poison. These mutations appear promising, with abrupt evolutionary leaps appearing in single-generation reproduction. Plans to establish a full science team on Talon 4 are being finalized. And again, the idea of a space pirate wearing glasses and doing science is hilarious. Xenome SA is undergoing relocation to Lab Hydra. That's where we are. Phazon infusion with central energy core of Xenome SA is, or S alpha, I guess, is at 70% saturation. Increased dosage appears viable. And new pirate data. Log whatever. Most terraforming and retrofitting of security checkpoints on Talon 4 is complete, but we continue to research the alarming epidemic of breaches by local creatures. Door records show no unauthorized entries, so we must presume the creatures are either slipping in undetected during daily personnel moves or else finding their way in through subterranean tunnels. We have found many small breaches of this latter sort and plug them whenever we can, but it is unlikely that we will ever achieve full extermination within our current timetable. 50% of all scans? What do you know? Look at that. See that?
So the pirates are writing all this shit?
Yeah, so this is all their data, like all their shit for, you know.
Does Samus have to translate it into English for us?
Yeah, it's the suit is like translating it. But earlier you asked fucking ice beetles. I can't stand these fucking ice beetles. This is why all the doors are around the planet, because they went around and put doors for themselves, I guess. Access to Research Lab Ether, limited to Team Sclera only. I had a little chuckle at the eyeball team. I thought you would enjoy Sclera. Stasis tanks operating at 40% capacity. Okay.
The Whale Eye team.
Yeah. Specimen euthanized after psychotic episode scheduled for removal.
Haha, nice.
Pirate communique analyzed. Main research facilities located. Well, where the heck is that? Oh, it's right over there.
Do you think anybody calls Samus Musty?
Why would they call her Musty?
I don't know, because like she never gets out of the suit, and her name is Samus.
Is this like that Sonic shoe thing?
Musty.
Yeah.
Well, shoes thing? Yeah, it could be.
Wow, Sonic's feet must be so stinky running around in those shoes all day. Mutation strain 776V shows massive absorption capacity influx. Strain replication is now underway.
How do we know that he just doesn't have feet and they could just be shoes? Like, he could just be born with things that we recognize as shoes but are actually flesh.
Yeah, the white sock-looking part is like his ankle bone. Phazon batch 1734D shows mandible mutation across all subjects. That's very specific. Cross-infusion with batch 1622G recommended. Which space pirate test subject is getting the best head? Xenome behavioral patterns showed decreased reflex activity and temperatures below freezing. I sure fucking hope so. Prep work on all empty stasis tanks must be completed before specimen batch Y.
Clean your fucking fish tank.
Clean the fucking fish tanks. Hey Johnny, get over here and clean the fucking specimen tank at Lab Hydra, don't you know? Further infusion suspended pending security assessment. Tired of this.
Why are there sparks coming from the ceiling?
We got a job to do. Specimen.
It's fucked. No wonder it's unoptimal.
It's all busted as shit. I think that's where I blew up the turret. Optimal absorption mutation has led to the unexpected degeneration of internal organs.
Haha, whoops.
This is a tank made of cordite. Fuck, these fucking cordite shit's getting in our way all the time. Tissue samples from stasis tanks must be hand carried to Lab Hydra for analysis. Notify security of all materials moved.
Yeah, those screens look like big chips.
Yeah, they're nice. I like them. They all got like... They got the right amount of detail on them, where from a distance they look great.
Like, go to the back.
Oh, like they look like big Doritos?
They look like big GPUs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because technology. Have you heard of this? Have you seen this? Daily decontamination is now required for all personnel working Lab Ether. That's probably a good idea when you're dealing with radioactive, poisonous shit. That's what's crazy about it. It's poison and radioactive.
But they're made of that.
Who needs to specify poison and radioactive? Our initial test exposing Talon 4's indigenous parasites to Phazon appeared to be successful, increasing Increases in strength, size, and aggressiveness are common in all test subjects, as well as unforeseen evolutions like additional poison sacs within the abdomen and the appearance of a second ring of mandibles in several subjects. These creatures were chosen because of their resilience, and it appears possible that, given enough exposure to Phazon, they may one day be able to survive on any planet we transport them to. Our methods will have to be refined. We currently have a 100% extinction rate after the 4th infusion period, and most survivors of the 3rd infusion stage are so violent and uncontrollable that they have to be euthanized. Even still, we remain hopeful that further experimentation will result in success.
So what you're saying is this dog can survive in any environment ever, but it'll die, like, immediately.
What's happening here is that they found this weird poison shit, and they're like, it's weird how anything that doesn't die when it's in this gets super tough. So what if we just started pumping Phazon into everything and just see what happens? And then but it's okay. Tests are going pretty well, even though we have a 100% death rate after a certain point. I don't know if I'd consider that like going smoothly, or showing promise rather, because at a certain point you're like, what promise is there in a 100% death rate?
I mean, I would assume that the fact that they could live in the first place is a good thing.
Yeah, it's impressive they got as far as they have. Research Outpost Glacier 1 in the Phendrana Drifts region of Talent 4's mountains is operating at 85% capacity. Sub-zero temperatures have made the Metroid sluggish and easy to control, even those well into Phazon infusion cycles. Cold containment stasis tanks are sufficient for the juveniles, but some of the larger Metroids have been moved to quarantine caves for safety purposes. Security doors remain an issue as malfunctions due to the ice occur every day. Large predators in the wastes are also a concern, as they continue to kill personnel and breach secure areas. Unfortunately, it has become clear that our containment teams cannot neutralize all of them without a vast increase in munitions and soldiers. So that's our first mention that they are working with Metroids here. That there are Metroids on this planet.
Dang, they sound like good guys.
The Metroids? No.
No, the space pirates.
No. But not only are there Metroids here, but they are pumping them full of the goo too.
Ah, yes.
Which is not good. These things are cool when you kill them with the wave beam because they freak out. See that?
That's not cool.
They go nuts. They can't handle it.
Okay.
The music makes them lose control.
Dance till you're dead.
Now this room is fucking cool.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ. I wish this game had a faster turn radius. Did you see him dodge that shit? These guys are tough. I see why they are my mortal enemies.
The noises they're making sound annoying.
I love their fucking weird roaring voice. And what's funny is that, so I don't know if I mentioned it before in this playthrough because it's been a little while, but Metroid Prime 1 came out in 2002. Metroid Prime 2 came out in 2004. And that is like an absurdly short development time. And you can see it in a couple little places where like all of the space pirate noises are reused and shit like that. It's a lot of reused sound effects. It could just be because, you know, they're the same creatures, but like, I just thought it was funny. Kind of charming. Holographic map coordinated data has been updated successfully. Successfully. Phazon mining is underway. Several garrisons have been established, and the terraforming of the Chozo ruins is underway. Security systems are operational, and science team continues to make progress in their biotech research. The Phendrana Drifts have proven to be an optimal location for research headquarters, and soon it will be joined by a fully operational combat base and starport. If Command's predictions are half true, we shall rise to dominance in this sector within a deca cycle. Truly, these are glorious times.
Yeah, okay, that's why it's empty now, right?
I believe a cycle is a day in this. I figured it out the other day when I was playing. I was reading files in Prime 2, and I was like, okay, a cycle is like a day. Or a year? I don't know. Holographic spatial schematic is in lockdown per security directive, whatever. New pirate data entry. Encrypted data, whatever. Scans of the spiral sector detected a massive energy spike emanating from a Wanderer-class planet identified as Talent 4. Scout reconnaissance was immediately dispatched to the center of the spike. A landmass at heading mark 4802, returning with planetary samples and atmospheric imaging. Analysis shows the energy source to be to be an unstable radioactive material of enormous potential. We are unable to form an accurate risk assessment at this time, but we are unlikely to find an energy source like this powerful again. Analysis will continue, but currently Town 4 appears to be a viable secondary headquarters. And I believe the primary headquarters is the location that we go to in Metroid Prime 3, which is that shitty acid rain planet that I talked about before.
Chocolate rain.
Yes, the chocolate rain planet.